welcome Acumatica Chief Product Officer, Ali Jani.
What an exciting day! Well, thank you. Thank you for the warm welcome, and welcome to day 2 of the keynotes. You can tell I'm excited, right? Wow, I'm telling you, it's like a refrigerator back there. I mean, talking about icing the kicker, right? Woo! All right, so we've got great stuff for you today. I mean, obviously, great demos, great technology. I'm going to be really diving deep, talking about how we modernize the platform, how we protect your investment. We want to give you an inside look at our roadmap. And of course, we're going to be talking about 22R2. We've got packed demos for you. So fantastic, I promise we're not going to show you too many videos. Mostly demos, demos, demos. That's what you guys want, right? All right. But before we get started, last night, yesterday, fantastic day. Just, some of the takeaways. You guys already saw some product demos, right? What did you guys think about the Teams integration? That was cool, right? Yeah, we had some great demos of, Teams, of course. The document annotation with Adobe, that works going on very well. Microsoft is extremely excited about our teams. We learned a lot about our growth. I mean, 8,000 customers. You guys are part of this community. We learned what community means. But I think the biggest takeaway from yesterday for me and everyone else I talked to is we recognize we're in this midst of digital transformation, right? So John talked a lot about there's no doubt that all of us are going through some form of digital transformation. And that's, common these days. But I think the big part of that was, how we go about that digital transformation is a little bit different for all of us. Some of us are doing it through business process, some of us through end users and customers' lenses and so on. But each of us, go through this digital transformation. Eventually, we find and fine-tune and we grow. But as part of that, the center of all this is the business application, the solutions. That's the biggest impact around this. So at Acumatica, this technology obviously is accelerating, and we have to keep up and help you enable your digital transformation. So I want to talk about this notion of future-proof cloud ERP. You've heard that term a couple of times, but I want to dig it a little bit deep and explain what we mean when we say that. John a little bit talked about the technology stack, and on that bottom layer, technology is moving very fast. The consensus with all the industry analysts is that over the next 5 years, we're going to advance as much as the previous 50. So just imagine what that's going to look like. It's going to be moving very fast. And then we've got this exciting Acumatica XRP platform, which enables us to change the technology inside Acumatica without impacting the functionality. Obviously, we have our industry focuses, our best-in-class modules, but that underlying technology, we're always modernizing and keeping it future-proof. But to be future-proof, modern technology is not just enough. I mean, the solution has to be always feature-rich. It's got to be highly adaptable. It's got to be easy to connect with other applications. And we got to deliver really great user experience. So the vision behind Acumatica was just to do that, and I think we've accomplished that. So you've got with Acumatica a technology that's here for you today and for tomorrow, and we'll look into that. But as part of that, I want to give you guys a look at Acumatica 22R2. So let me introduce our Executive Vice President of Product Management, Ajoy Krishnamurthy, to come and talk about Acumatica 22R2.
Good morning, everyone. Great to be here this morning to talk to you about 21R2. It feels like just recently we released a feature-packed 21R1, and here we are talking about our next release, which is 21R2. Our releases are defined by the input we get from all of you, our customers and partners. Whether it's through the community site, the feedback.acumatica.com, or through the advisory board meetings that we hold with partners and customers, or like many of you did last night at the party, pulling many of our team members aside and giving us input on the product. Trust me, if you did it after the 2 or so drinks, please follow up with an email. 21R2 is defined by those inputs as well. We got 3 main themes for this year's release. First one is seamless personalization. Personalization is all about relevancy. It's about applications being agile and adapting to the user need. It's kind of like what happened when you walked up to the bar last night and the bartender says, same drink again, and gives you a personalized drink. Some of you nodding the head. That might be a sign of too many visits to the bar last night in a short time. That may or may not be a good thing, I'm not judging. But in business applications, personalization is a great thing. We want the users to experience the system based on the industry that they are in and based on the business processes and the tools that they expect to use within their day work. So in Acumatica, especially in 21R2, we're introducing new features that we believe would be valuable for both new users as well as power users. Whether it's the smart navigation toolbar, showing you the next logical action or the steps you can take, or the sorting option in the dashboard tables, or the ability to create tasks out of business events without any programming. There's lots of cool features coming in 21R2 from a personalization standpoint. The second is the investment in the modules. Finance module is the heartbeat of any ERP system. So we've got some great features coming in 21R2 for finance, our financial module, particularly in the AR balance. Again, AR balance and alcohol consumption is kind of the same thing. You got to keep them in check. All right, that's my last alcohol joke with ERP. So we've got some cool features coming in terms of bank reconciliation, right? How do you do reconciliation for transactions with multiple receipts? And then the investments in the ecosystem. Like we showed you some examples yesterday with Teams, the integration with Teams and Adobe. What do you guys think about that? Yeah, good stuff? The platform and the open API we have sets up the stage for those type of integrations. And we're going to show you an example of something that we're doing with CRM. We cannot overstate the value of having ERP and CRM communicating together. Driving better efficiency for our users, having to track leads, opportunities, and contacts. And now we're going to introduce a new integration in CRM that allow you to take it further with the deliverability of emails, ability to track the open rate and the click rates and so on the emails. Rather than me spending more time talking about it, who wants to see 21R2 in action? All right, for those of you in the back that's not clapping, wake up. All right, it's my pleasure to bring Doug and Jessica on stage to show you 21R2. Doug and Jessica?
Good morning, everybody. Good to see everybody here. I'm very excited to kick off the demonstrations today. We're going to be talking about platform features and CRM features. Digital transformation is very important, and workflow is a key part of digital transformation. Transforming your business as it pertains to you is what you want to be able to do with a low-code, no-code situation. So we're going to show you some workflow-enabled features this morning that will tell you a little bit about how you can make changes to the standard operating procedures that are shipped out of the box with Acumatica. And we're also going to show you some of the new features of CRM. And to do that, we've got a scenario here for you. We have a research company who wants to follow the normal sales order process in Acumatica, but they want to make some tweaks to it. One tweak is that they want to be able to take the process and add a research step where somebody actually produces some materials. So we're not just going to do the normal process of creating a sales order and then invoicing it. We're going to put a little loop in there that allows some other things to happen. We're going to take advantage of business events. I hope you are all doing that within your applications today to get a very positive feedback on terms of how your workflow works and set reminders and do other things. But rather than have me talk about the scenario, Jessica, loved working with you. Kick us off here and start showing us some of the demo.
Thank you, Doug, and good morning again, everybody. Jessica Gadbois. As Doug mentioned, we're going to use this scenario today with a research organization that works with intellectual property. They're not shipping physical goods. So that's the scenario that we'll work with. But as Doug mentioned, as always, we tend to start with usability in these demonstrations. We'll take a bit of a look at the new usability features, and then we'll get into the low-code, no-code workflow, as well as business events. Now, I'll use a sales manager dashboard for this research organization that we're working with today. And I have a number of enhancements on my Acumatica dashboard that really allow this sales manager to get a great view of their business's activities, and specifically their sales team's activities. Now, there are a few visualizations that are new to Acumatica this year that I can see right on this dashboard. We have meter tiles that have been introduced to Acumatica this year. And these meter tiles are a really great way for your team to be able to understand exactly where they are against their performance to a goal. As always, with any dashboard tiles in Acumatica, you can certainly drill down into the information to understand, in my example, where is this sales versus quota data coming from. But more importantly, those meter tiles are designed to be dynamic so that it can really reduce the amount of work that your system admins are taking to keep those dashboards accurate. For example, I have a number of source inputs that I can use on those meter tiles. They might be a static absolute value, but we can also use dynamic inquiry fields or percent values so that as your data is changing and your performance goals are changing, those meter tiles are changing right along with your business. Of course, you can color code those meters as well. We typically see green, yellow, and red as the most common colors being used on a meter, but of course, you could modify those to your business needs and liking as well. So a great way to be able to see where your team is at that time against a performance goal. Now, we've also added and enhanced our visualizations around funnels. We have funnel tiles available for all of you as a chart option on your dashboards. And in my example today, because I'm looking at a sales manager dashboard, we happen to be keeping a view on a funnel of our opportunities. So the different stages of those opportunities I can keep my eye on and watch as they funnel through to hopefully get us some wins for this business. Now, visualizations are not the only thing that Acumatica brings to all of you on dashboards. Data tables, as you're seeing on the right-hand side, are a very common way to list out tables of data or listings of information. Now, why this is key in today's demonstration is because we've made a seemingly small usability change to these data tables on dashboards, but that will allow every single one of you to be a bit more efficient in the system and get the data that you need more quickly. What we can do is we can just click on these column headers now and sort the data from oldest to newest. In my example, I'm seeing the opportunities that are expected to close the soonest versus the ones that are older. I can also filter by any column heading on here. So if I'd like to see the balances that are the greatest versus the ones that are the smallest, you can now filter that data almost in an Excel-like fashion right from that dashboard screen. So a small change that all of you can be a bit more efficient with. Now, let's hear it for a small change of usability. Now, we also introduced link tiles to Acumatica this year. Link tiles, in my opinion, are something that every single one of you can take advantage of because we all know that we each have transactions that we are responsible for on a daily basis in Acumatica, and they allow you to have those transaction screens or those links to even reports directly on your dashboard. A sales manager here has a link right to a sales order or a new opportunity, and we can launch directly into that screen without needing to search in the universal search, without needing to navigate into a workspace. One click, and I'm launched into a brand new transaction. We take usability really close to our hearts here at Acumatica because all of you, as our customers, really deserve that top-notch, high-quality experience. Now, I'm taken into a sales order screen, and we get a chance here to talk about some of the user interface changes that have taken place around our toolbars. Now, toolbars are extremely important in Acumatica. That is all the buttons across the top of my screen here for those of you that are new, because that's how we take action on the transactions that we're working on. Now, for those of you that know Acumatica, you know that my color-coded bright green button here that is saying that I can create a shipment, this color coding is new to Acumatica. You can now have different colors on those buttons, green, yellow, red, so that you can understand as a user what is the next logical action that should be taken a bit more quickly and easily. Great from a visibility perspective. Now, it does not stop with those color-coded buttons. We've also completely consolidated this toolbar. So if I click on that ellipsis icon, or the 3 little dots, as I like to call it, that allows us to see our new consolidated and streamlined toolbar. The toolbars, yeah, that's a great one. These toolbars used to have multiple drop-downs. So we had an actions drop-down and a reports drop-down. We've put that all in one easy-to-find and navigate place so that, again, reducing the clicks that every single one of you are making on a day-to-day basis. Now, what you'll also see is that we can actually favorite these menu options. So because I have that cancel order option as a favorite, it's actually appearing as a button on my toolbar. So if I remove that favorite and I decide that maybe I'm somebody who's in the warehouse, I am managing back orders, hopefully not for all of you, but if that's something that you are responsible for doing, I can make that a favorite, pops right up on the dashboard. Acumatica, again, we really pride ourselves on these types of usability changes to help you all personalize your system and make your day-to-day job a bit easier. Now, in the example of our research company today, I'm going to generate a new order type. In Doug's example, he talked about the fact that we're selling intellectual property. So notice what happens here when I change this order type to an invoice. You'll see that that button changes to read research instead of create shipment. We are not shipping any goods, we're selling intellectual property, and this is all based on the workflow engine that is now even more prevalent throughout Acumatica. This is all done with absolutely no code. There is no need to produce any code to make these types of workflow changes. If you are a business that requires a little bit of a different workflow, we give you that flexibility to make those changes without any need for development. So we've created a quick sales order here. I have some consulting, a consulting line item for our research project. And what I'm going to do is use this no-code workflow to send this off to the research department to begin our process. And you'll see that the status does absolutely change to research so that we can understand where we are in the stage of this transaction. Now, beyond just the no-code engine that allows you to make some of those flexible changes, business events, have been enhanced in Acumatica this year to be able to create CRM tasks based on triggers in the system. Now, as a reminder, business events are the way that you can send different notifications in Acumatica. So text messages, push notifications, emails. They look for different triggers, and based on those trigger conditions, we send those notifications. But now that we can create CRM tasks, I'll do a quick refresh on this order, and you see 2 activities appearing in the top right. In our example today, anytime an order goes into a research status, we need to create CRM tasks for the different stakeholders throughout our organization that need to now go out and perform the work to fulfill that order. So in my example, I have 2 tasks that have been created to create the research document and then to prepare it. So I'll go ahead and open that task. Of course, these are assigned to the appropriate stakeholders that need to complete those tasks. So they can appear on a dashboard, you have a new task to complete, or as a notification, again, via email or mobile. What I'll do is I will just complete this task today, and we will assume that the first 2 tasks in this workflow have been completed. What's going to happen next is Doug is going to be triggered to create a 3rd task as the individual that actually needs to send the research out to a customer. So I'll click on Send to Customer. We've taken this through some usability examples. We've seen the no-code workflow engine, taken a look at the business event tasks, and Doug is going to finish up our example today by sending that research out to the customer. Doug, back over to you.
Thank you, Jessica. Well, Jessica's convinced me of the benefits of a completely integrated ERP and CRM system. But I'm going to pile on a little bit here. So we're going to go, and in my taskbar, you'll see that I have this task that Jessica created for me to send the research to the client. So I can drill into my dashboards, and I can drill right down to that particular record that Jessica was working on. And now that I have that, you can see there's 3 activities that appear here. And the task has been assigned to me to go ahead and send out the research. So I'm going to click on my activities, and I'm going to go prepare an email to send the research. Now, many of you are used to sending emails, but as Joy already mentioned, we now have the ability to track things like unsubscribes, clicks, and other things within the email process. And we can do that using a new partnership integration with SendGrid. So to kick this off, I've already created a notification template. So you can create notification templates so that people can quickly prepare spiffy-looking emails that will go out instead of typing them in each time. After I've done this, if I need to, I can go make changes, and then I can go ahead and send it. Now, the benefit of using SendGrid is that it's going to go ahead and track the emails, and it's going to track clicks, provide automatic unsubscribe links, track if people are opening my emails, and do everything else that's associated with this out of the box. So this is a way that you can track, in our particular example, if someone clicks this button that says, click here to get research report, we'll know when they clicked it, and then we can start the invoicing process. So a perfect marriage of a completely integrated CRM and ERP system, bringing together sales, finance, and even the salespeople and sales operations teams that make all this possible. So I hope you enjoy that. Now, the email is making its way through the internet right now, and as always, the risk with live demos. Jessica, have you gotten the email yet? She gave me the thumbs up. Now, as part of this, we're going to refresh this dashboard, and we're going to see that Jessica has received the research report. So if she can go ahead and do some clicking and other things to let us know that we've gotten that, I'll then give it a quick refresh here. And you can see that she has now opened it and clicked it. I'm very excited by this. And as I say, this is an ERP CRM scenario, but think of marketing applications and other things. You see I have campaigns where I keep track of clicks, my email open rate automatically updated as Jessica did her work clicking the email. I have click rates, open rates. They're very high in this situation because, well, I'm sending them to Jessica and she's very polite and opens all my emails. So we're doing very well. So that's a little bit of that's kind of the end of our scenario. Now what I want to do is I want to take you on the journey of how we made that change. This is the Acumatica heroes that can go in and without coding can make these things happen automatically. Behind the scenes, there's a customization project with a visual editor that you see here. So the normal flow of our sales order with a type of IN that Jessica showed is on hold, check for credit hold, open it, and so on and so forth. Let me zoom in a little so you can see what this looks like. With a few clicks, I added a research step. The research step consists of a new workflow that I can add transitions to. As an Acumatica hero, you can go in and make those changes, and you don't need to be a programmer to do it. So if I'm looking at this, and all of a sudden I say, well, wait a minute, this flow that I see from credit hold to open, I'd rather, if they remove the credit hold, I'd send it to research to follow the path that we were working on. So I'm going to go ahead and click this transition that you see here, and I'm going to drag this guy over to research. So now, like just with a couple clicks of a mouse, I've exchanged and made our workflow a little more useful in terms of what I see fit using the visual workflow editor. Now, as a shameless plug to a session coming up later, I'm going to go in through the whole process of how you can go from start to finish and make this little research step happen. So feel free to join me there and then go into more details. Now, the other thing that I'd like to mention as part of what goes on with people that are more advanced is we have these generic inquiries. Jessica talked about business events, and the business events were what driving a lot of those tasks that she showed you. And what drives the business event? A generic inquiry. And what drives generic inquiries? But an underlying data model. So if I go and I edit this generic inquiry, you see one I have listed here for sales orders, you'll see that it takes me to the screen where I now have something a little bit different than I had before. I have these highlights to my data tables. Now, people have been asking us, we need more information about what the data tables are and what you can do with them and how they link to one another and everything else. So using this hyperlink, I'm going to go ahead and click, and you'll see that we have this thing called a DAC schema browser. Thank you, guys. I'm very excited. As the person who goes in and looks at the feedback site every day, I cannot wait until 21R2 is launched, and I press delivered on that one. So we're very excited. Now, once again, that's for the power users. The rest of you are going to be able to create inquiries. You don't need to get into all that if you want to. But anyway, that's a quick preview of some of the workflow, platform, and CRM features that we've brought to you with Acumatica coming up in the near 21R2 launch. Thank you very much.
Awesome job. Thank you, Doug and Jessica. What do you all think? Fantastic, huh? It was amazing to hear the applause for the DAX schema browser. A lot of nerd power users in the audience today. That's only a sample of what's coming in 21R2 from a core platform and the modules perspective. There's plenty more in R2. And I told you earlier, this release is packed with features for both new users and power users, whether it's the drag and drop capability with our visual designer, or the DAX schema browser, or the integration between CRM and SendGrid, packed with lots of cool stuff. We announced Payroll at the last summit in 2020. And we know Payroll is mission critical. We've been working with hundreds of our customers that are using Payroll currently. And in the last year, since the first release, we have put out about 900 new features into the Payroll system across all the different industries for customers that need union and certified wages as well. We continue to add more depth into this release in 21R2 in Payroll with support for shift code, ability to use project and task as your account and sub-account so you can track where the cost originated from efficiently, and new dashboard, both an operational dashboard and an employee dashboard where they can see their paycheck, look at the status of timesheets, and so on. But we've also put emphasis on the performance. We've been working at it at every release, and we have a dedicated time set aside in our engineering to work on performance across payroll run, batch processing, calculations. In fact, with 21R2, we see a factor of 2 to 3x increase in the speed of running a payroll for a small group of employees to a large set of employees. In addition to the product investment, one of the things we worked on with our current customers, putting focus in our support to make sure we get quick and timely response for payroll-related support cases. Now, let me switch gear and talk about industry editions. John talked about the focus and the investment we're putting in each of these different industry editions. This goes back to what I talked about earlier, providing the user the experience and the capability that they need for the industry that they're operating in. I want to start with distribution and retail commerce. Many of our customers that are distributors, that are retailers and e-tailers, have gone through a significant change in the last year, seeing tremendous growth in many cases. And we are packing this release with features to help them continue to drive growth while also increasing profitability. In addition, we have tightened the integration with our partner solutions like BigCommerce and Shopify, so we can provide an unified end-to-end experience for distributors, retailers, and e-commerce across their warehouse and the backend system and the commerce system. Who want to see this in action? Yeah? To do that, I'm going to bring the next DJ. If you notice, the first demoers are Doug and Jessica. It's my pleasure to welcome Deborah and Josh.
All right, man.
Hello there, I'm Deborah Mignola, and I am your new product advocate for distribution. I don't hide the fact that I'm pretty excited to have joined Acumatica team. Josh and I are very excited to share with you some new features. We only get to show you a little bit of them, but we've got some great new features that we're going to show that we know you're going to love. So for the demo, we have created a company called Sherbet. Sherbet is a sporting goods distributor and retailer based here in Vegas. Now, we are a true Vegas company, and we are ready to hit the jackpot. So we placed our bets on Acumatica so that they could slingshot our sales into the stratosphere. All right, so we're going to show you some new features up there on the screen. I'm just going to call out a couple that I think you guys are really excited about. Cross-sell, upsell. And directed paperless picking. Yeah. So traditionally at Sherbet, we've had sales reps enter and place the orders internally. But more and more, our customers want to place their orders online on our e-commerce site. Now, with most systems, I'd have to duplicate the effort of that setup in both the ERP and the e-commerce site. But with Acumatica, I'm going to show you how I can set it up in one place. At Sherbet, we have a lot of volleyballs. So we have indoor and outdoor volleyballs. We have all different colors of volleyballs. We have them made out of synthetic materials and genuine leather. If we were to create a unique item for each of those distinct volleyballs that we carry, it would be a big effort. It would be very difficult to keep it consistent, all the naming and everything. So instead, what we did in Acumatica is we created one template item for volleyball, and we configured it with the different variants, the different colors, the usage, and the materials. And then we let Acumatica automatically generate all of the individual part numbers according to the parameters that we set. We think that's pretty cool. All right, so our vendors at Sherbet, they're constantly replacing their standard items with the latest model, giving us new part numbers and everything. And what we want to do is, after we want to use up all of the foam football 2020 stock before we start selling the 2021 footballs. So what I've done here is I've created a substitute. So you can see here that with this substitute, when all of the stock of the 2020 footballs is out of stock, we'll substitute it with the 2021. Also, we have noticed that a lot of our customers who buy footballs also buy Frisbees. And we want to encourage more of this cross-sell opportunity. So I've set up this cross-sell item, and with this football, same football, we've set up a cross-sell item, the Frisbee. We also want to encourage upselling. So we want customers to buy more expensive items, right? So for that Frisbee, what I've done is I've created this upsell item. This is a glow-in-the-dark, personalized, imprinted Frisbee. So we're gonna create that. So this is all exciting to me, but I think what's even cooler is how this all affects the customer experience. So I'm gonna hand it off to Josh to show you that.
Great. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. I'm Josh Fisher. I'm the product manager of the Retail Commerce Edition here at Acumatica. Very excited to talk with you this morning. I want to talk with you about our native integrations to both BigCommerce and Shopify. Now, there's 3 things that I want you to take away from this conversation. Our native integrations, which is a bi-directional, it's a 2-way sync, can be in real time, it could be scheduled. But those 3 things are, 1, you can reduce your double entry. There's no reason why people should be making updates inside of an ERP and then making those same updates inside the e-commerce site. 2, you can increase the efficiency of your team with this native integration. I mean, the double entry is a good example, but there's a ton of examples of how their process can be far more streamlined. And then the last thing is the customer experience. Nobody ever thinks about this, but you can actually optimize the customer's experience from inside the ERP. And that's what I want to show you today. So I want you to imagine with me. Imagine I'm just a normal guy. I live here in Vegas, and I'm throwing a huge family reunion picnic this summer, okay? My family, super competitive. So we're going to play sports all day, and I need to load up on my gear. And I'm going to buy my gear from SureBet, because I've been buying from them for years. They give me preferred pricing, okay? So let's take a look. Here we are on SureBet's website. This website's built with BigCommerce. And the first thing that you're going to see are these featured products here. I'm actually marking these as featured products inside the ERP, and that's exporting out to BigCommerce. This is the football that Deborah was just showing you. Now, I definitely want to get some of these footballs. Let's just add, I don't know, 50 of these to the cart. But there's something else. Notice on the right side of the screen, that's the Frisbee that Deborah was just setting up. Now, this isn't some Vegas magic trick. These 2 systems are actually connected. We're doing all this live right now. So she sets up the Frisbee inside the ERP. Because of the real-time integration, it becomes available on the website. So let's drill into this Frisbee. Now, this Frisbee's great. Kids would love it. But if you see in the upper right, there are personalized Frisbees. I had no idea SureBet was doing this. And how great would it be to have the family name on these Frisbees? Everybody can take one home. Okay, so notice this personalized text field. I'm going to put in the family picnic. Now, what's really great, and we heard this from so many merchants, this personalized text is now flowing into the ERP on the sales order. So you can sell personalized made-to-order items now inside of BigCommerce or Shopify, and that information will flow into the sales order, which means that the warehouse will have all the information that they need in order to process the order and get it out the door. Thank you. All right, so we'll add 100 of these. And then the last thing I need are volleyballs. Everybody loves to play volleyball. Now, I'm going to use BigCommerce's search engine to find these volleyballs. Volleyballs are a very simple example, right? But if you have complex products, it's very normal for your buyers to use different language to describe products. So you can actually set up the search keywords inside the ERP, and that'll export out to BigCommerce and Shopify in their search engine. So if you know there are terms that people use to find things, you can control that search experience from the ERP. Now here's that volleyball that Deborah was showing you. And notice when you look at the volleyball, see the drop-down menus? Those are the attributes that Deborah was showing you inside that matrix item. So you can configure that matrix item inside the ERP. Once you export it, in this case, BigCommerce actually built the page for me. I didn't have to go back into BigCommerce and rebuild this page. It's all done for me. All right, so let's add some volleyballs. Synthetic's cheaper, outdoor. We'll get blue ones. And let's just do 10 of these. All right, and now I'm ready to check out. There's one last thing that I want to show you here from the customer's perspective. Notice that remember I mentioned that I get preferred pricing, right? A long-time customer. I want you to notice $24.72 is the price. I can actually set up customer-specific pricing in the ERP. Let me log in. And that customer-specific pricing is going to update what you see on the website. Oh, wait, I need to put in the right email address. Bear with me. OK, I want you to pay attention to $24.72 is going to update with my customer-specific pricing. Obviously, that's a great B2B and B2C feature, right? Again, managing it inside the ERP, and you're pushing it out to the e-commerce platform. Now, let's just choose free shipping. We'll get down here to the payment gateway. I'm going to use a Joy's credit card. All right, we'll place this order. OK, so as soon as I place this order, it's being sent into the ERP as a sales order, all in real time, right? So the warehouse is getting the order now, and they're ready to start working on it. Now, that's great. Everything I just showed you is from the customer experience. And inside this ERP community, we need to think more about the customers and the experiences that they're having. It's going to benefit our merchants. The last thing I want to show you, let me put a different hat on. Imagine that I'm a customer service rep working for SureBet. Okay? And in this case, I've been on the phone. I was talking with a customer. They got a delivery, but the box was a little damaged. They're not happy. That's OK. We treat our customers well. I'm going to jump into the admin of BigCommerce. Now, BigCommerce will allow you to apply refunds in multiple ways. You can do line refunds. You can do full order refunds. In this case, I'm going to give the person a partial refund. So let's just give them $10 back. We'll hit continue. I'm going to choose, in this case, the test payment provider. That could be anything like authorize.net. Now, when I process that, again, it's flowing into the ERP. You don't have to issue the refund inside e-commerce and then go do that again inside of Acumatica. It's all syncing now. So much more I would love to show you, but I'm going to give it back to Deborah. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Josh. That's some cool stuff. All right, and then I want to show you what it looks like when it comes back into Acumatica. So we have that 2020 football here, and in the sales order, what I see is a little warning that tells me that we're out of stock on the 2020, and oh, by the way, there is a substitution that we'd like for you to order instead. And here we have this related items icon that says that there is a substitution and perhaps other related items. And here I can see, or maybe I can't see it. Sorry about that. A substitution. And if it was in there, it would absolutely replace it on the line. The other thing I can see is the custom order, the made to order, is now showing right here in this personalization column. So I can see that my team knows what they need to imprint on these Frisbees. Cool stuff. All right, now I am going to take you to our warehouse, and I'd like to call your attention to our new picking queue. All right, so I am here in the picking queue. This is a new screen that we're introducing. And in that picking queue, you can see the status of all of the pick list jobs that are in there. So as a warehouse manager, I've already created these pick lists. I've sent them to the picking queue. So you can see that they're prioritized based on priority, based on the assigned picker, and also based on the location of where the picker is. So when I come and log in, I'm going to log in. I've already logged in as Peter Piper, my picker. And rather than entering a pick list number, I'm going to click Next List, and it's going to direct me to do my pick job. So I'm going to come on over here to my warehouse, And first I need to tell them where we are. Needs my location. So I'm going to give it my location. And with that location, it has assigned a job, a pick list job, according to the priority. Pretty cool. So I am no longer carrying a paper around. I am doing this with only my zebra scanner gun right here. So now I can pick my football. So Peter Piper just picked a pack of footballs. And I just picked my other item. And when I come in here to confirm it, you'll see up there that that pick list job comes off of the picking queue. So you can put up a huge screen in your actual warehouse and give everyone the visibility of what's going on with the picking queue. So Josh, come on over. Why don't you help me?
Sure, I'd be happy to.
I'm going to have Josh help me do some packing and shipping.
Sure.
Yeah?
Okay.
So how do you think we should ship these footballs?
I think the fastest way is to use Air Deborah.
All right.
Here.
Are you guys ready?
All right.
Okay, this could be a better one. All right, ready? Oh, that was
All right, that's way too much fun. Thank you, Deborah.
right.
Thank you, Josh. Fantastic demo. And some couple of completions and an incomplete pass on that one, just for the record. Awesome. All right, phenomenal release in distribution and distribution and retail commerce. You saw upsell, cross-sell, substitution, preferred pricing, matrix items. So excited. It's phenomenal. Now, let's switch gears, okay? In the interest of time, let's talk about manufacturing and construction. We got a lot of manufacturing customers that are asking for some advanced scheduling capability. We've got construction customers that have a service division, new construction. So in 21R2, we've built a lot of new capabilities that brings us end-to-end workflow, going from service inspection to manufacturing back into construction, something that's critical for a lot of our customers. Again, you know the drill by now. I'm going to invite the next DJ, right? DJ number 3. It's my pleasure to welcome Debbie and Joel. Debbie and Joel, come on up.
Thanks, Joy. Debbie and I are excited to talk to you guys today about how a company can utilize manufacturing, construction, and field service all within a single ERP platform. I'm Joel Hoffman, Senior Manager within the construction product team. And what we'd like to talk about today is a simple scenario that a lot of companies deal with. We have a company called Red Rock. Red Rock Manufacturing was part of Fremont Cooling. So Fremont Cooling has multiple divisions. One manufactures the HVAC systems, that's Red Rock Manufacturing. And then Snake Eyes Services does the installation and construction of that. Well, typical to companies like this, they have issues where they need to identify an issue, perform faster resolution, and then have traceability of what caused that particular issue. And along the way, they also need to make sure that things are being scheduled properly and deadlines are met. So let's take a look at some things that are happening in 21R2 along the way. So I'm logged in as a project manager here for Snake Eyes Construction. So as a project manager, I need to make sure things happen on time and on budget. And with that, I can't have any impact to the schedule because that's going to cause my projects now to start to have some margin fade and lose value there and lose the profit. So this morning, I had a foreman on the job site, and there was a problem with the HVAC unit. There was no cooling. And we know in Las Vegas, hey, we need some cool air here. So as part of that, you're coming in, they've identified, he's created a project issue, and with that issue, he's identified the inspection failed, we need to do some things with cooling. So I get a notification on my phone, as well as you can see on my dashboard, I have my own inquiry to let me know which issues are urgent, and now I want to drill into it. because as I'm looking at that particular distribution center, I need to understand what's the impact of this schedule not being met or this unit not working on time. So I do a quick look into my tasks, so there I have my dates, and I can say, well, I have to the end of the month, so I have a little bit of time there I can look at and what needs to happen with those particular units. But now I need to understand what is the real problem with that particular unit. Well, in 21R2, I can assign, with those nice little taskbars, right there, an appointment for a service technician to go out on site. I'm not having to go out. I've identified there's an issue that needs to be addressed at this project. Let me go ahead and create an appointment. It has to do with the installation. The cooling is a problem code. And this easily and this quickly, now as a project manager, I can let my service team know that someone needs to be dispatched and we need to get a technician out there to look at the problem. So as we look at this, now that technician is going out on site and using the mobile device, which I have in my hand. The technician is able to look at that particular issue. Right? So now, as I'm looking at that issue, I, as a technician, can call up. What's the description? Using my speaker. The relay is bad on unit number 5. And in the upper right, on the device, you can see I can also attach a picture. Well, we don't have a relay with us. So today, our relay is our audience. But as part of that, I also forgot I need to be OSHA compliant. So now the picture comes back to the office, notifications happen, and now that identification can happen, that now we can look and see what needs to be happening and really get into the details of that particular manufacturing unit and the things that need to happen. That's where Debbie's going to take us over and look at how that unit was manufactured. Debbie?
Thanks, Joel. Hi, everybody. I'm Debbie Baldwin, and I am the product manager for Acumatica's Manufacturing Edition. Today, I'm going to assume the role of a production manager. On my production manager dashboard, then I can view and take action on items throughout my day. I notice that there's an urgent issue that needs my attention. Oh no, it looks like there is an air conditioner that's not cooling at our construction site. As I dig deeper into this issue, I see that Joel has already sent a technician out, and there's a bad relay. So I also see that he's attached a file, so let me take a look and see if I can get some more information. Oh, now I know exactly what's wrong with the relay.
Happy to help.
Thanks, Joel.
Always happy to help.
All right, so now what I want to do is I need to figure out where those relays were used. Were they used on any of the other air conditioners at the construction site? So before, it would take me hours, weeks, days to figure out what components went into the finished air conditioners. But now, we have the ability to pre-assign lot and serial numbers on the production order. So now, I can figure out what component goes into the finished good item in minutes. At Red Rock Manufacturing, it's really important for our company to know what components went into the air conditioner at the time that they were built. So on my as-built configuration screen, I can see that I've filtered the screen by an air conditioner, and now I can see all the components that were issued to this air conditioner on the day that it was built. So, if I click on the fan, I can see the exact serial number that was issued to this air conditioner on the day that it was built. But now, what I want to do is I want to figure out where were these relays used? Were they used on any other air conditioners at the construction site? So I'm just going to filter on the material transaction detail. And now I can see that quickly that those relays were used on 6 of the air conditioners at the construction site. So now what I want to do is I'm going to just replace all of those just to be safe. So Joel, back to you to create the purchase order.
Thanks, Debbie. As we know, now that the relays have been identified as that part that needs to be replaced, I need to get that on site so that my project team can keep going and we're not losing any days on the schedule that are going through. But I don't want to have to go back to the warehouse, figure out when things are being shipped, get those notifications, send somebody back, and have that whole component. So how am I going to do that? On 21R2, I'm going to create a project dropship purchase order. Woo! So within this purchase order, now as we go through it, very simple. It's coming in, little drop down there in the middle of the screen, project dropship. By assigning this new purchase order type, I'm able to say which project it goes to. It pulls in the shipping information there you can see on the bottom of the screen. And now those parts are delivered as Red Rock sends them to us. Now they go off right to the job site. We're not losing any time going back and forth to the warehouse. My people in the field know when to expect it, and we can keep the schedule on time. Debbie, this is great. I love to get the relay fixed. Now back to you.
Thanks, Joel. All right, now I'm the customer service manager, and while I'm on the sales order screen, I see the sales order for Snake Eye Service. It looks like Joel has asked that we deliver these by the end of the week. So I just want to double check and make sure that we can do that. I'm going to use Capable to Promise. All I have to do is select the item and process. And what this is doing is it's going out and it's checking to see if I have the materials and I have the resources to deliver this on the date that it was requested. So it looks like we're not going to have any issues. And all I need to do now is just accept this. And once I accept it, it's going to create the production order that's tied to the sales order. Now, I'm going to put on my production manager hat. And now I just need to schedule the order, right? So I'm going to look at my production schedule and, wow. I really wish we had a visual production schedule. Well, guess what? Now with 2021 R2, we have a visual production schedule. Woo! Thanks, guys. We're so excited to deliver this. I'm with Doug. I can't wait to push the button on deliver for this one. So I have actually filtered this production schedule board by date. But you could have just as easily filtered it by production order or sales order or inventory item. I've also got it focused in to look at my production schedule by day. You could look at it by weeks, you could look at it by months, and even look at it by hours. And here on the left-hand side of the screen, I can select which columns that I want to see displayed here in my schedule. On the bottom of the screen, I have a capacity view. So here I can see that I've used 9 out of 15 blocks of time in Work Center 10 on this particular day. That means I had to have a little bit of extra time that I could schedule other items in this work center if I needed to. At the top of the screen, I have some visual indicators that we've coded into the schedule. The blue, the green, the white circle. But if you look at my production order for my relay, you notice a yellow diamond. What the yellow diamond means is that this production order is linked to a sales order. And my production order is scheduled to be complete on the day that the sales order has been requested. So I'm not too sure about this. So what I want to do now, I'm just going to go right from my schedule. I'm going to change the date. I'm just going to back it up a day. Now, I'm going to firm the schedule so that if anybody else runs scheduling, this order won't move. So I can confidently say now that I am able to deliver this product on time, and Joel, we're going to be able to complete the project on time as well.
Excellent. Woo!
All right, let's bring in Joy back to the stage.
Thank you, Debbie.
All right.
Thank you, Joel. Awesome job. I think Debbie missed a chance to say, you get a production board, you get a production board, something like that. That would have been perfect. All right, so we talked a lot about manufacturing and construction and distribution and retail commerce. One quick update on the partnership we discussed at the last summit. It's the partnership with our e-workplace apps. We announced the quality management module for Acumatica last year. I'm excited to announce that now it's a certified product, and we have several joint customers using the quality management module. Yeah, quality is good. And I'm also excited to announce with 21R2, we're going to have process manufacturing for Acumatica. In closing, we saw a lot of features there, demoed today in R2. Another big round of applause for all the 3 DJs, I should say 4 DJ, including the one that opened the show. Awesome job. But believe me when I say, even though this slide looks kind of busy, there's a lot more features that's included in 21R2. My request to you, or our request to you, is the beta for 21R2 is coming out on August 4th. Please take a look at it, give it a spin, and give us feedback, okay? And I can tell you with confidence, there is not another ERP system out there that has the breadth and the depth of capability that we showed you in our platform, that we showed you in our core modules, the functionality in the industry editions, and the rich ecosystem of partners providing solutions taking advantage of our open API platform. I hope you agree with that as well. On that note, I want to give it back to Ali Jani. Thank you, everybody.
Amazing stuff. I mean, I get so excited about everything, and you can see we've been busy. Getting the feedback from all of you has been great. But for this next segment, I promise you that we're going to dive into the technology a little bit, talk about how we future-proof Acumatica, and as part of that, how do we keep that platform modern? But beyond that, we've heard a lot about reporting and analytics. That's a space that continues to thrive, so the more we can do inside the application. I want to give you guys a look on the roadmap ahead for some of our information and analytics reporting and how we do that. And of course, you saw a lot of great user experiences, the new menu options, the green buttons. But I want to bring Mike C., our Chief Technology Officer, out here to show us a little bit more about and talk about this modernization process. Mike? Oh, there you are. All right.
Hi,
I didn't know I had to drag you out here. Good to see you, Mike.
Well, unfortunately, yes. Hi, guys. Unfortunately, I cannot be in person in Vegas this year, but my avatar will be with you, and I'm really happy to see you there, guys, and very happy that you have a good time. Thank you, Ali.
Well, great. You look great, but a little bit pale. Hold on a second. I think I can fix that. Where's my rag over here? Oh, here it is. There you go. Much, much better. So, Mike, the team here is really excited about what they saw on 21R2 coming soon. But I told them a little bit about the information analytics, about the reporting changes. Of course, they saw a lot about user experience, but I think there's a lot more. And in particular, they also want to know a lot more about the platform. So can you tell us a little bit first about the reporting and the stuff that we're working on that they can look forward to?
Oh, well, absolutely. In fact, one of the key areas of investment on our side is we want to improve our reporting tools, and we want to move our analytics to the next level, because analytic and reporting is a key and essential part of the ERP. And with that one, we do have a plan how to achieve it, and we execute it. So first of all, we're working on refactoring our generic inquiry to decouple the presentation from the query and introduce certain scalability and performance enhancements there. Then, using this base we start to work on a new report visualization. And this new report visualization will allow you to present the charts, present the pivots, combine this data, and make the reports really interactive, group them, show subtotals. At the same point of time, we're working right now on improving the segmented analysis in the financial reports and in operational reports. When I'm saying improving the financial analysis, right now we do have a sub-account, and sub-account has segments. These segments are essentially right now presented as a single control, and when you print in reports, you need to select them by mask. What we are doing is we're segregating these segments into the individual controls and allow user to enter them individually only in the place where they really need it. That simplifies the data entry, but at the same point of time, we're giving an option to users to pick them up individually or combine and slice and dice them in the reports, so we can produce really powerful insights. And the last piece that we're working on right now is we really want to eliminate the last piece of the desktop application in the Acumatica, and we want to move the report designer into the browser. So making simple tasks like alteration of the invoice or purchase order will be really, really easy for the users, but as well, you don't need to install anything. You can do it in the browser as you're doing with the other parts of software right now. That's our plans, and by doing this, I hope our product, our reporting tools will be best in the breed.
That's fantastic. All right, tell us a little bit about the platform, and then we can get into the user experience. What are we doing to improve performance, keep the modern freshness of the platform?
Okay, well, when we started Acumatica back in 2007, we used the tools that was available on the market at that point of time, which was web forms from the Microsoft and Microsoft.NET. And though our user interface is still very good, the technology that we are using in the background getting legacy. And our biggest priority at this point of time is move to the new user interface technology. Together with this, and by the way, you already see the piece of this technology in the application that we're releasing right now. The process is gradual. Together with this process, we'll simultaneously move the core of our application towards to the .NET Core platform. And that not only will help us to improve performance and scalability of the application, but will also help us to reduce the cost of hosting by running Acumatica on the Linux platform, for example. Still, the same time as the last year or 2 years ago, low-code, no-code customization remains our first priority. And we continue to release the new tools and improve the functionality in such way that more and more simple tasks or medium-level consulting tasks can be done without coding for the programmers by the application consultants. So we're empowering them by the tools to make the customization by themselves. And that not only applies to very similar and basic things, but also to some things that typically done through the coding. And our long-term goal is also to make our Acumatica product as a service more scalable. So we're working about splitting it up on smaller pieces and providing more and more of them as a services. So the performance and scalability of the application and reliability of the application becomes better. So that's our core goals for the next couple of years. We work on all of them in parallel, and you start to see them with every next release of Acumatica.
Great.
Thank you. Well, now I think it's a time for a demo, right, Ali?
All right, well, let's show them. What can I show them?
Well, let's start with the user interface, and probably for those of you who've been in the Vegas last year, remember my presentation. And you do remember that during my presentation, I was talking about this big green button that helps the user to do all, right?
Mm-hmm. That's right.
So now you can see it is there. And Ali, please start with the demo.
Yeah, let me take you guys to one of our favorite screens. By the way, you can see I'm logged in as our super administrator, John Roscoe, so a little bit preview of the interface, a lot more contrasting, white backgrounds, a lot more cleaner. That's coming soon. But I'll go to our favorite screen here, which is our sales orders that a lot of people use. And I want to open up one of the Open It sales orders quickly. Again, lots of visual enhancements. But Mike, this is the green button I think you were talking about, right?
Yeah, absolutely. One big green button, and it's there now. But on top of that, last year I was demonstrating on the slides more functionality. And now we're ready to show part of that in live. So you can see the totals are highlighted into the panel on the right side. But Ali, can you go to the location field and can you wipe it up and then press a save button?
All right.
So what you can see now, yes, instead of the pop-up blocking message, we're showing this message on the side and user can continue with the data entry. So it's not blocking the user from the entry. Now let's complete the order. Thank you. Now let's complete the order and let's press on the big green button, create shipment.
So one
Please
click.
confirm it. And you can see, yes, the processing is also changed and the next screen have a green button again and click on the confirm shipment again. And you can see that we also changed it and operation is completed, but you are not blocked from this one.
Very
that's
fast.
part of the enhancement that you can see and more things are to come. But even more changes you can see in the new mobile user interface. And Dale, let's move to that one.
All right.
Apparently, we do receive a lot of feedback on the mobile, and one part that causing a specific excitement from the user is the navigation menu that we have there, which is absolutely great. And we cannot ignore it, so we definitely worked a lot on this release to improve this functionality and make it look modern and nice, because definitely it's getting a little bit aged and functionally it's a very, very basic.
All right, let's show them.
Ali, can you show it?
Yep.
Okay, well, I won't say it's drastically different. It looks more modern, but what about the functionality there? It's not very radically different. Can you present it like really? Is that what we've done?
Yeah, it looks, I mean, I see a bunch of workspaces. I mean, I see some new functionality on reorder workspaces, but nothing really special.
And what we can do about it?
Well, let me see here. Maybe I can, I mean, I see some stuff. Oh, here we go. Oh, wow. Check that out. All right. Yeah, so I can see widgets we have. So now you can have widgets on, you know, and personalize this on your needs. So I see I have cash on hand, total AR, day sales outstanding, because I am logged in as John, so he cares about money, obviously. All my recently visited records, so I can swipe them back and forth. I can even put my favorite screens up here in the middle area. Let's see if I can use my mouse here to show you guys. So yeah, I can put up my favorite screens here. And yeah, I even have the quick sales order, adding. And then I also have my workspaces. Very, very nice. Let me see if I can add a quick widget. I don't see AP here, so I'm going to go ahead and add a widget. Maybe search for AP because I like AP stuff. Oh, did I spell it correctly? No, I cannot spell AP because I don't like paying anybody. All right, AP overdue, that's even better. Let them be overdue all the time. All right, so we mark that as a favorite and go back. And in a couple of seconds, you'll see it'll get added to the top. And what's amazing about this is, here comes AP overdue. And then what's nice about this is even each of these workspaces are configurable and personalizable. So if I go to sales orders, you can see there's a set of widgets even for the sales order space. So each of them can have their favorite screens and make it very, very easy to get with a few clicks to do exactly where you want to go. Isn't that incredible?
Well, absolutely great. Thank you, Ali. And now we can say that our mobile experience is totally matching our browser experience, right?
That's right.
Great.
Well, thank you so much, Mike, for joining us today. Fantastic work back there, and keep it up. And next year, I'm going to have to clone you if you don't come up here, so I'm expecting you to be here.
Absolutely. Thank you, Ali. And guys, thank you very much for coming. I apologize for not being with you, but have a good day. Bye.
All right, fantastic stuff. And yes, there is a dark mode as well, so you'll be able to switch and work with the way that you like it. We're really excited about the mobile experience and how you can personalize it. It shows you how we continue to stay modern. So as part of this, we got a lot more to come. And the next segment, we're going to be talking a lot about the future technology. But before I ask Joy to come up here, I just want to kind of give a heads up. I'm sure you guys are enjoying the demos. We're running slightly behind, so we might be about 10 minutes late. So there's a 30-minute break before the next sessions begin. So I hope you guys can stay and see some of the future technology. But if not, feel free to exit at whatever time you feel comfortable. So with that, let me ask Joy to come back and talk a little bit about our future technology.
Thank you, Ali. Awesome, awesome. Great demo. Fantastic to see Mike joining via Teams, putting technology to good use there. Talking about future technology, for those of you that have been following us for the last several years, you know at Acumatica, we don't shy away from technology. It's actually the opposite. If it's cutting edge, bleeding edge, we want in, right? And it's not just for the sake of technology, the exciting shiny blue object. It's about how can we apply these technologies that's coming up, emerging, to solve critical business problems. We were the first ones as an ERP company to offer Power BI integration, the integration with Office 365 with Outlook, and the Outlook add-in. And the first one to even try creating an Alexa business skill so you can interact with an ERP system using voice. Those are some examples that we did in the past. Today, we're going to show you a few examples of similar emerging technologies and how we think we can take advantage of those in solving some business problems in the context of Acumatica ERP. So the first one I want to talk to you about is with robotic process automation. We saw robot on stage last time, physical robot. This time we're working with a software robot, or called as BOT, or robotic process automation. Robotic process automation is essentially a software repeating what a human does more efficiently and probably without a need for a coffee break, right? And it's a perfect tool for automating some of the repetitive, mundane tasks that we all have to go through sometime at our work. We are working with our partner UiPath. They are an RPA platform company, and our strategic partner Markham in a particular use case. So let me show you a quick example of that. Okay, so I'm going to start with the UiPath Studio. I know there's some geeks in the audience from the applause for the DAX schema browser. So this is where I compose the RPA flow, if you will. So here I'm basically setting up an access to an Acumatica instance. I'm going through that, getting the data from Acumatica. The scenario that we're tackling here is for customers, particularly Markham clients, having to file sales tax and use tax compliance report back to each of the state that they operate in. This is something they need to go to a state website, log in, and submit the data on a monthly, quarterly basis, right? It's just a repeated task. Why we put valuable resources doing it rather than getting a bot to do it? So it's getting the data from Acumatica, the GI, and now I have a process here to go through and file those reports for New York and Nevada. So I did this recording earlier, so we can speed up and show you how this works. So when I start this, you'll see the robot starting the process. It's grabbing the data from Acumatica using our generic inquiry that I talked about. It's going to get the data all formatted to the right structure for each of the states. And then basically you have to do this once if you do it right. You're going to go in, log into the first state, in this case Nevada. You log in. This is actual client of Markham that we're showing. That's why you see some of the data not being displayed. You can go in, key in the data, submit the sales tax information for that particular jurisdiction, and then finish the form. Once you're done, in this case with Nevada, you have to do it for the next state. So in this case, it'll be New York, as I said earlier. And New York has more requirements around jurisdiction by county. You got to do this even at that level. So now you can log into the respective, or log into the site and submit the data for the respective counties. There you go, right? I mean, this is a process that takes someone about 2 to 4 hours at the end of the month, just for filing one state. Imagine having a bot scheduled to do this month in and month out. What do you do with the free time? That's up to you. Next, I want to talk to you about a partnership or the integration that we're working on. It's a proof of concept with a company called ZoomInfo. ZoomInfo is a B2B digital intelligence platform. They basically have data about companies and leads and so on. They have about 38 million, on a daily basis, they collect about 38 million data points using machine learning from public sites, corporate websites, SEC filing, news, and so on. So let me show you an example of how we can take advantage of a service like that and augment the data within our CRM. So here I am. I'm going to bring up, oh, I need to log in, obviously. It's my super secret password. All right, I'm going to bring up a customer here. So in this case, let's see if I find my Seattle Seahawks. Any Seahawks fans in the room? Woo! All right. So I'm going to bring up the Seahawks record, and I'll show you what we can do to bring information from ZoomInfo. So I've added a ZoomInfo tab here. So now we're making a call through API. When I click on the Get ZoomInfo tab, you'll see the information getting populated. That will show the contacts within the Seattle Seahawks organization. You know, Josh and Deborah built those footballs and volleyballs. Hey, I want to put Seahawks brand on it and start selling them through Seahawks as well. So the person that I need to contact is somebody here, like, oh, Chief of Merchandise, Doug. That'll be a good contact to have. So imagine you got a lead and you want to find the right person to talk in the organization. You can get the list of contact and immediately add them as a lead into your CRM system, in this case, Acumatica CRM. But if I scroll further down, it also bringing similar companies. And you can control this based on SIC code, based on the zip code. So if you have a lead and you're doing extremely well selling foam football to NFL teams, you want to find out what other NFL teams you can sell to. Yeah, so it's showing a lot of good options here. I can probably sell to a bunch of them. No, I don't want to sell to New England Patriots. Don't show me that one. And a weird list here, 9-inch nails. I have no idea what that's got to do with football. First, I thought that the nail salon, and then Ali told me it's a music band. All right, so that's just a quick view on how we can interact with a system like ZoomInfo to bring data into Acumatica CRM, so you can start getting some of the additional contact information that's important for you to follow through on the lead and grow your business. Switching gears here, I want to spend a couple of minutes on the work that we're doing with machine learning and AI. We've been investing in this space for a while now. We've released a lot of new capabilities here, with our expense recognition, where you can take a picture of a receipt and then automatically file an expense claim. Whether it's with our business card recognition we introduced in 21R1, where you can take a picture of a business card and it automatically creates a contact in the CRM, or with the AP document recognition. How many of you like AP document recognition? Yeah. We have actually improved performance on AP document recognition in 21R2 by switching the backend engine. We are now using Azure Forms Recognizer instead of AWS TextRack. So you will see that when you move it into 21R2. There are plenty of other scenarios we're working on, as you see on that slide, across the different industry editions on the core module. I want to touch on a couple of scenarios here and just call your attention. The first one is the view of the customer. This is a modified dashboard that you all see if you're a current Acumatica user to get a feel for what's your customer credit worthiness. So in this one, it's showing the current balance, the available credit, etc. But pay attention to the yellow tile on the top right corner. So that's where machine learning is looking into the data and the behavior of this particular customer, and it's predicting that they're going to be 2 days late, right? In this case, it's over. 2 days late in terms of paying their bills. Well, 2 days is not a big deal, But imagine if you're running a very tight operation where cash flow is important. Knowing that certain customers are going to be late is so critical to run your operation efficiently. And if a customer is consistently late, maybe you don't want to do business with them, right? So that's the type of stuff that we're bringing into this dashboard using machine learning to analyze the data and identify pattern. Similar theme with anomalies. How many of you deal with errors because it could be a data entry error, or it could be a false or a fraudulent invoice coming into the system? You want to have a way to understand and catch them before it's too late. This is a process that a lot of our customers do today, and it's pretty time consuming. And so in this one, you see obviously the dashboard shows how many anomalies we had in a particular period, so you can click on them and look at the details. So it looks like there's an office food delivery for $35,000. I don't know if it's an anomaly. If you ordered the food from Win, that's probably close for 10 people to feed. And then in the detail view, you get the same view where the machine learning engine is able to identify those transactions that it thinks are possible candidates for anomaly. It puts a score. Rather than you having to go through every record in the system, you can look at the ones that have the high score percentage saying, hey, there's a likelihood of these being anomaly transaction. And you can go focus on that and get it sorted out. Helpful? All right. Shifting gears from machine learning, we've been talking about the work that we're doing with low code and no code. I want to spend a couple of minutes on a project that we are working with Microsoft on their new programming language that they're introducing called PowerFX. PowerFX is a low code language. It's inspired by Microsoft Excel. How many of you use Excel? Yeah, if you're not putting your hand up, you're not paying attention. Everybody uses Excel, right? And the one thing that we are all comfortable with Excel is the ability to use formulas, right? We get a columns of data. I want to get a sum of those columns C. We all know how to do it. Can we do that same thing in ERP into one of our GI screens or one of our data entry screen, get the calculations using formula? Let me show you. So here I am back in Acumatica. Of course, I need to log in again. Okay, so I'm going to bring up an invoice screen. Let's go to the invoices and memos. Let me just pick up this one that I've already set up with some data entry. So this has got a bunch of documents here. All right, so here you pay attention to the user-defined fields. So I've added few fields that I want in addition to what Acumatica presents out of the box, quarter, discounts, etc., and you see the value. But let me show you how I got those values. So if I go to Manage User-Defined Fields and look at the properties, are you ready for it? Look at this. This is formulas like you will see in Excel. Average of current document, pick up the discount percent line. So here I can go in, and I see that it's missing the discount amount line. So this is the last value here, total discount amount. So I'm going to basically add that into this property here. So what it's doing is it's putting the dollar sign in the front, sum of the current document discount amount column. Come on, it can be simpler than that. All right, now if I go back to that screen and bring up the user-defined field section, come on. You should see the dollar amount here. Yeah? Just like that. And it is real, and I can show you that. So we've got a bunch of these items. 3 of them have discounts here. So it looks like the data backup consulting, it's a $400 an hour. Seriously? I think the demo data was set up by a database engineer in this one, wishful thinking. Who's going to pay $400 an hour for that? All right, let's put a 10% discount on this guy. All right, so once I do that and hit save, what you will see here, this data will change. You'll see the number go up here. So let me just save that. There you are. Live data using Excel-type formulas within Acumatica. So switching gears into wearables. Wearables are everywhere, right? People are wearing watches, the glasses. Can we imagine interacting with a watch and Acumatica? Well, we imagined. So we put the app on the watch, Acumatica app on Apple Watch. And when we did that, we were just sitting around and thinking, like, what would be the right scenario to do with an Apple Watch? You have to come to the Acumatica Summit, and it's in July. You have to finish the Q2 reclassifications. You forgot to do that. How about you do that on a watch? Yeah, we didn't think so either. We didn't think that would be a good fit. Instead, if you're taking a subway train, back work to home, and you wanted to put a quick note into a case that you've been tracking, you can do that on a watch. I do that all the time with the texting, but not while driving. Yeah, I mean, you can just put those texts in, and it shows up in Acumatica. Or you can track a dashboard. If you're looking on a particular status, you're waiting on a deal to close or an order to go through, you can look at them within the watch. Absolutely great tool to get quick information without having to pick up your phone or laptop or whatnot. But let me show you one scenario in action. Yeah, who wants to see Apple Watch with an Acumatica app? So here I am, back into Acumatica. So I'm going to log in. All right, I'm going to create an expense climb here. Let me go ahead and do this. Let's say I just took a coffee break during Summit. Yeah? I'm going to add that. I'm here at the Win. I'm going to put the meals here. And I'm going to say it's affordable coffee at Win. The number of the pricing jokes I'm making at Win, I may not be able to make it here next time. It's all fun and jokes, okay, Win? All right, let's say the coffee was about $263. All right, close enough. It was $250, but I need $13 extra. All right, so I've got the expense ready to go. I feel like I've got all the information. I lost my receipt too, so I don't know where I'd put that in. But I need help to close this scenario out. So to do that, I'm going to bring Ali Jani on stage. Ali, please join me.
Ajoy. Before you get started, Ajoy, this thing keeps buzzing on my hand. You want to reset it or do something with it?
Sure. I'm going to submit this expense
with
claim.
your phone?
Yep. And it'll be awesome if you can just approve this coffee receipt, please, Ali. Believe me, it's actual expense. All right. So I've now submitted the expense claim.
Are you spending money again?
What's that?
Are you spending money again?
Yes. And where is your watch? Where is your watch?
It's right here.
Okay, the camera is trying to get a catch of that.
Yeah, I know, but did you
I did submit it, yes.
Okay, let's see what happens here.
You should see a pop-up on your screen now.
Yep.
I just did a quick refresh of the app. No, that's not the one you want to look. No, don't read my text. Don't read my text. It's real phone. Allow it. I bet you one of you did that, didn't you? Go ahead and do the pending claims on that.
All right, I see your expenses now. It's coming. It says loading, but it's coming.
It's coming?
All right, there they are. Man, you've been busy.
Just click on one of the receipt. Don't pay attention to the dollar. Just approve it, Ali. Trust me.
I don't know. I think we're going to have to talk about this one. I'm rejecting. We'll talk back at 6. All right. Oops, I clicked approve.
Approve. There you go. Job done. Thank you so much, everybody.
All right.
Back to you, Ali.
Oh, my goodness. All right. Well, great stuff. Just amazing technologies come in. You saw a lot of great features coming up in R2. And, there's a lot more to come. I mean, we're just in preview stage at this point. You guys can download some of these previews online. Beta's coming up soon, and a lot of great things. But we got a lot more stuff. Make sure you go to all your sessions today. Lots of more sessions coming up, and people are really enjoying them. I'm getting great feedback. But most importantly, don't forget about Mike Walsh. He's a great dynamic speaker. Every year we have a really good speaker. This year especially, he's the CEO of tomorrow. So make sure you stop by for the closing keynote at 3 o'clock, and have a great summit. And I hope you guys enjoyed all the demos.